right. Settle in. It's movie time. We are going to watch Konrad Curze Night Haunter by the Remembrancer. See if this changes my opinion on him. Because it's been kind of a roller coaster. I first saw him and I was like, yes, that's my man. Learned a little about him and said, hell no, restraining order. And now I'm like, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see if this will change my Primarch tier list. Probably not.
It has been said by the tacticians throughout the ages of mankind that no plan survives contact with the enemy.
It's still a restraining order. All right.
Me. I do not waste my time countering the plans of my foes, brother. I never care for what they intend to do, for they will never be allowed to do it. Stir within their hearts the gift of truest terror, and all their plans are ruined in the desperate struggle merely to survive.
Okay. Damn. Batman.
The sons of the Emperor would all shoulder a burden during the years of their infancy. Raised on feral, feudal, and even deaf worlds, each Primarch would be molded by the environment to which he would grow. Yet it cannot be denied the lot of some Primarchs would be starkly worse than others.
It's true.
For not all the Emperor's offspring would be fostered by kind or benevolent fathers. For today, we shall elucidate the creature born of crime, murder.
That's pre-Heresy Horus, right? That's him. That's his bicep is as big as my head. Wait a second. His bicep is literally as big as my head. This better not awaken anything in me.
And spite. The Night Haunter of Nostromo.
Bye, Miyazawa.
Konrad Curze. Of all the Primarchs of his Imperium, the child of the 8th Legion would be raised on the most inhospitable and wretched of worlds. The world of Nostromo.
It's always the blondes and balds for Stim. I'm no comment.
Nostromo would be coated in endless night, its lullabies of the screaming of the murdered, the only solace for the inhabitants of the world. Save in the knowledge that another had died in their place that night, the Nostramans would live in an existence steeped in violence, depravity, and lawlessness. The Primarch of the 8th Legion would descend upon the planet, his gestation pod crashing through its polluted hide of the planet's largest city, Nostromo Quintus.
Nostromo Quintus, okay.
Burrowing through the urban architecture, the gestation pod dived into the planet's crust and halted near the liquid molten core of Nostromo.
Holy, that's deep.
Born into a world of darkness, the infant Primarch would claw his way to the surface.
He clawed his way up from the molten core of the planet as a baby? Wait, do we know that when they're deposited, were they like children, toddler, or babies? Do we know? Like, where are we at? I know they were like more advanced than normal people deposited. I don't know a better way of saying it. Distributed children, babies. They're just like super like demigod babies. Okay.
Through the scar carved through the adamantium and mineral-rich earth. Reaching the surface, the child would be confronted by a crazed inhabitant of the planet, seeking to consume the child for his ripe, fresh meat. The first act of the child would be to defend himself from the murderous intent of his first contact with humanity. Slaying the would-be cannibal, the child would swiftly come to realize the twisted morality of his planet. Nostromo was a world drenched in despair, with no authority or power capable of culling the malevolent and desperate criminals of the planet.
That's
Poverty
crazy.
would be rife within the planet's society, with its main productivity derived from the world's mining industry, allowing the tormented populace to eke out a humble existence. The minority of the society would grow bloated with wealth and exploit the lawless underhives and their overpopulated peoples.
Me. This is your kind of benevolent ruler. Me.
With no soul on the planet, willing nor capable of adopting the young Primarch, the child would survive alone. His wits and instincts allowing the Primarch to survive of the vermin and carrion of the planet within the darkness. Plagued by visions of a future he did not comprehend, the Primarch would begin to forge an identity befitting his dour and nihilistic existence.
Sounds like
The
the
Night
Stim
Haunter.
Dome.
The feral.
So this is why he was like a rat. He was raised as he had to hide and stuff. Some people see great heroes and go, that's gonna be me. Stim sees bloated and corrupted aristocrats and goes, I know what I am.
Scavenger of
That does to
Nostromo
you.
would begin to
Your
form
first contact with another human being, they try to eat you.
Yeah, I mean, I would lose all faith in humanity pretty quick. That makes sense. I understand why he is the way he is, I guess.
reputation among the populace. Sightings of an uncanny presence atop the roofs and slums of Nostromo Quintus would abound, with tales of a monster preying on the most dangerous of society. The screams of the Night Haunter's victims are balm to his anxieties, and dreams of countless dead upon unknown worlds shaping the Primarch's personality.
Okay.
Isolation and nightmares would be his only allies within the shadows of the abandoned derelicts to which the Night Haunter would rest.
He didn't have a single friend?
Yet with time, the Primarch of the Eighth would grow in both stature and infamy, until the entire planet knew of his deeds. Disgusted at the criminality of his homeworld, the Night Haunter would hunt the delinquents and felons of the hives. Consuming the brain matter of his victims, the Night Haunter would digest the populace's language, memories and sins due to his homophagia organ, and the Primarch would experience firsthand the depravity and weakness of his people.
Oh, he's also being assaulted by visions of the future this entire time, by the way. Oh, right! Him and Sanguinius both had visions of the future, except for Curze's was really bad and Sanguinius's were good?
Sickened at the deeds of his homeworld's people, the Night Haunter would enact his own dark crusade to purge all crime from the planet. Merciless and savage in his dealings, the Night Haunter would purge the world of swathes of the populace's most revered and notorious criminals.
Oh!
The tales
Curze interpreted them as unchangeable because he was nihilistic. Sanguinius was more optimistic about it and thought it could be changed. Curze's to Sanguinius as Perturabo as to Dorn.
of the avenging spectre of the planet would be hushed by the civilians within the hives, and it would not be long until the gangs of Nostromo would band together to hunt the creature down. Slaying any who would attempt to end his crusade, the Night Haunter would leave a sole survivor of each failed battle. Severing their hands and gouging their eyes, the survivors of his wrath would return to their masters bearing a simple message.
Oh my god!
I am coming for you. Instilling terror within Nostromo, the Night Haunter would slowly erode and silence the corruption of the ruling elite. Leaving their hanged bodies atop the hive's highest windows, often maimed and flayed in horrific displays, within a year of his reprisal, crime would cease. Confronting the rulers of the planet.
Wait, he just stopped crime from doing this? Holy! I mean, I guess 0% crime rate. Let's go.
The Night Haunter would make a simple demand: obey the law of the Night Haunter, or be judged. Cowed by fear, the Nostramans would relent and allow for the ascension of the so-called Dark King to rule their world.
I'm not freaky enough for Curze, I don't think.
The first monarch of Nostromo would diligently work to restructure his fiefdom, consuming the planet's historical archival knowledge with ravenous hunger and murdering the last remaining criminal elements within the hives. It would not be long until the Night Haunter would dominate the populace completely, ruling with temperance unheard of by Nostromo.
How is this like a small planet? Because like, how did he discipline everybody? Like, he's one guy. Did he have his like? I guess I have to keep watching. Did he have like a little team or something like?
And standards, the civilians would share their wealth equally among themselves. For should they own too much, they would fear reprisal from their
Just
Dark
him.
King. Within months, the planet's fortunes would abound, the fear instilled within them progressively allowing for years of prosperity and industrious toil. Broadcasting the screams of his final victims across every home of the world as a reminder that none would escape his justice, the Dark King had achieved his goal of total obedience.
He's a live streamer.
For decades,
He's
the
a Twitch streamer. Okay. Dang, I guess that's one way of doing it.
Haunter would have no need to hunt prey,
He's a
for
kick
none
streamer.
would dare to defy the will of the Dark King. Yet with the arrival of the Emperor of Mankind to the planet, Nostramo's future would be sealed by its own prophecies that the Emperor would cause their downfall. Foreseeing his father's eventual reunion, the Night Haunter would prepare. Upon the Emperor's arrival, the inhabitants of Nostramo would be unable to look in the direction of the being of gleaming light. The so-called Delegation of Light would see the populace weep at the arrival of the father of their benevolent dictator.
Benevolent?
And blind.
Oh no, wait, they did. Oh no. Are they benevolent? I've used that word before. I'm not bad though. The thing is, Curze had a sense of justice, and if he followed the rules, he would be safe, but he was way too extreme. Nostromo was an absolute hellhole. I mean, I guess the first person he ever met wanted to eat him as a baby, so that's not very good. His subjugation of Nostromo was heavily inspired by Vlad the Impaler, extremely draconian punishment for crime of any kind. To Vlad's credit, it's hard to argue with the results. This is kind of like, does the, how's it go? Did the ends justify the means kind of thing? Kind of that age-old discussion.
Any who looked directly upon his visage.
You can say that about the Emperor,
Primarchs,
too.
Rogul Dawn, Lorgar Aurelian,
Actually.
Ferrus Manus, and Fulgrim, the Night Haunter.
Look how beautiful Fulgrim is before! Look at him before. He was such a beautiful boy. And then he got, yeah.
Would envision dark portents of each of their futures. Meeting the Emperor of Mankind, the Night Haunter would be overwhelmed by a vision so terrible he would sink to his knees and attempt to claw his own eyes from their sockets.
Wow.
Ending his torment with a touch of his hand, the Emperor would utter, "Be at peace, Konrad Curze. I have arrived, and I intend to take you home."
It's okay, kitten. Daddy's here.
Submitting to the Emperor of Mankind, the Night Haunter would refuse to adopt his supposed name given by his father. Brought to Holy Terror to study the doctrines of the Legiones Astartes under the tutelage of the Phoenician, Fulgrim, Konrad Curze would with time be installed as the leader of his legion. Naming them the Night Lord.
Stim's headcanon is crazy. I'm sorry, I can't keep the thoughts inside.
The 8th Legion would quickly become synonymous with brutal and decisive victories. A humorless, yet efficient army, the Night Lords would employ torture, terror tactics, and merciless persecution of any dissenting opposition. Yet with the absence of the Night Haunter, his homeworld of Nostramo would descend once more into rampant criminality with his absence. Claiming the Night Lords to be nothing more than murderers, gifted with the strength of godlike beings, the Nabal of Nostramo would rebel. Konrad Curze would regard his sons in a similar manner, seeing them as unworthy, yet necessary tools to bring compliance to the lawlessness of the galaxy. Believing peace could only be achieved through methods of instilling terror within non-compliant worlds, the Night Haunter would slay his own legionaries should they delight in the act of mutilation and slaughter for their own personal gratification. Instilling within his legion that such methods were merely tools to achieve peace, Curze would be disgusted at his son's flagrant degeneracy. Bringing worlds into compliance through many atrocities, though his brother Primarchs would decry his methods, Curze would maintain that his actions, though harsh, would allow for the least amount of bloodletting. Hypocritical in his own enjoyment of inflicting pain onto his victims, the Night Lords would only disguise their enjoyment of their craft.
Wait, they enjoyed it? When did that happen? He enjoyed it? I thought he was just doing it because he had to. It was the most efficient way to stop things, but he actually liked it. That is hypocritical. That's what he told himself. They were criminals before and remained sick in the head after. I see. How can you guys like Curze? I don't get it. I mean, he does look cool. I like their aesthetic. It looks very like, it almost looks like vampiric. Because villains are cool? Okay, we'll see.
From their gene father. Their sinister nature left unaddressed by their Primarch due to the constant harassment of his own visions of the future. The Nostraman recruits to the Night Lords would further exacerbate their legion's downfall, as each initiate would encompass their homeworld's descent back into delinquency.
I get that. I get liking a character, not a person. Like, yeah, I get that. That's cool. I do like villains. I think villains make really interesting characters. But right now, he just seems like a lunatic.
The rot had been set within the 8th Legion, and with the preponderance of the Legion now born of Nostromo and its culture, the downfall of the Night Haunter would be inevitable. Tormented by visions of betrayal and
That would
fratricide,
suck.
the Night Haunter would delve further into the clutches of madness. Confiding in his mentor, Fulgrim, the Primarch of the 3rd Legion would relay the Night Haunter's mad ravings to the
Look at
Primarch of
him.
the Imperial Fists, Rogel Dawn. Incensed at the slight made against his brethren and the Emperor, Dawn would confront Konrad Curze. Found unconscious with deep gouges left in his torso, the Primarch of the 7th Legion would lay at the side of Konrad Curze. Weeping and racked with guilt, Curze would be imprisoned for his assault of his brother.
What?
As the Primarchs discussed the means of how to deal with their brother.
Why did he assault his brother? Because he's going crazy? See, it's all Fulgrim's fault as his mentor. Stop blaming Fulgrim! I mean, yeah, but... Just Konrad thinks he had a little Menhera moment, a little crash
The Night Haunter
out.
would escape his bonds and slay the Imperial Fist Huskarls stationed to guard his chambers. Escaping with his legion, the Night Haunter would travel to his homeworld to seek solace. Yet upon arrival to Nostromo, Konrad Curze's remaining sanity would break.
Oh, yeah.
During
Don't go back there.
.M30, the Night Haunter would discover the fate of Nostromo.
He's gonna nuke it, isn't he?
Once more corrupted by ceaseless crime, the vengeance of the Primarch of the 8th Legion would be unequivocally merciless. Firing laser bombardments into the rend in the planet's surface, originally made by the Primarch's gestation pod, Nostromo's molten core.
I was joking, but also that's so funny. It's so obvious. Every single time, a Primarch has a problem with their hometown, they nuke the fucking planet. Every time. He used his own deposit hole to turn the planet into a nuke. To be fair, he was probably right with this one. I mean, yeah, if any planet deserved it, it's Nostromo. It's just so funny, it's so predictable.
Would detonate. With Imperial pursuit craft sent in the wake of Rogel Dawn's injuries, witnessing Nostromo's destruction, the depravity of the Night Haunter would soon be relayed to the Emperor. Recalled to Holy Terror, Konrad Curze would answer for his crimes.
Thank you for the Prime Night Watch. Thank you so much.
Explaining to the Emperor that his actions were justified, Curze would accuse the Imperium of hypocrisy in their own dealings of bringing worlds into compliance and utilizing exterminatus to any whom would deny the Imperial truth. His excuses would not satisfy the judgment of the Imperium, and as a result, the Imperium would deny the 8th Legion supplies to their dominions and banish them from the forefront of the Great Crusade.
What?
Yet despite his punishment, Curze would
He was punished for blowing up Nostromos? Really? Why? Oh, and for attacking Dorn. Yeah, I guess. Oh, because Big E wanted the planet's mines, adamantium. I see. There's always an ulterior motive. Yeah, sure, it's a shithole planet, but we need that first stuff. We need the supplies. We need the monies.
seek vindication for his actions. And soon, an opportunity for revenge would present itself. The Horus Heresy, perpetrated by the War Master of the Imperium, Horus Lupercal, would coincide with the prophesied visions of the Night Haunter. Believing his visions to be unchangeable, the Primarch of the 8th Legion would surrender all responsibility for his actions and side with the traitor war effort. Choosing to enact his vengeance against the Emperor, Konrad Curze would lead his men to the Battle
I
of
get
Isstvan
it.
V,
I understand why he would
aiding
betray.
the traitorous betrayal of the loyalist forces of the Iron Hands, Salamanders, and Raven Guard. The Night Lords would revel in their slaughter of the Imperium's noble sons. As the Night Lords butchered the loyalist Astartes, Lorgar Aurelian, Primarch of the Wordbearers, would battle the Raven Lord of the 19th Legion. Besting the bearer of the word in combat, the Urizen's life would be spared.
Oh, I just know. Is this in his official design? His armor is like a ribcage. I don't know if this is fan art or official, but this looks really cool. He has a really cool design. It's very like gothic. That's official? That's such a cool design choice. It's very gothic.
By Konrad Curze, who would duel his rival in darkness, Corvus Corax, in Lorgar's place. Their claws struck, and despite Corax's speed, the Night Haunter would grab his brother by the wrist. Escaping Curze's grasp with the use of his jump axe, the Primarch of the Raven Guard would not risk dueling the Dark King of Nostramo. With the death of the Gorgon and flight
he
of
looks
the
so
Raven
smug.
Lord, Curze would find a new subject for his depraved tortures and mutilations. The Primarch of the 18th Legion.
Wait, what?
Vulcan.
He took Vulcan?
Aboard his flagship, Nightfall,
Oh no!
Curze would attempt to break the will of the Primarch of the Salamanders. Finding the Primarch of the 18th to bear the gift of a perpetual, Vulcan's body, no matter how many times it would perish, would rebuild itself and bring new life.
Holy shit.
Seeing an opportunity to torment his noble brother forevermore, the Night Haunter would delight in slaying his defenseless brother time and again.
Holy shit, what? That's messed up, bro. Not Vulcan, my sweet baby. He killed Vulcan a bunch. Like over 100 times. Infinite torture. Hack. The first captain of the Night Lords, my fave Space Marine, has such a good quote on calling out Curze. You can claim a savage nobility, father, but this is far more savage than noble. What other ways did you try? What politics of peace did you teach? What scientific and social illumination did you bring to the society? In your quest for a human utopia, what other ways did you try beyond eating the flesh of stray dogs and skinning people alive? Damn. How are you shocked when you know all the other horrible stuff that happens in this universe? I'm just shocked because we're brothers. Like, I know the Primarchs are, like, fight each other a lot, the traitors and the loyalists, but, like, that's a next level. I'm not just fighting them because I disagree, but enjoying torturing their brother. That's just, like, a next level depravity. Curze was never one of the boys. Still, that's crazy. Yeah, that's yandere level. That's crazy. None of the Primarchs befriended Curze, so they're basically acquaintances. He hated everyone immediately. He's that kid. I see. He's that kid.
For months, the Night Haunter would devise the means for the mutilation and execution of his brother, sating his sadism with increasingly extravagant displays of torture until growing weary of his relentless returns. Tearing him limb from limb, riddling his body with bolter shells, and even disintegrating him within the ship's engine shafts. No matter the cause of death, Vulcan would be resurrected.
He can be disintegrated and
Unable
resurrected?
to break the will of the Lord of Drakes, his attempts to break Vulcan with a variety of methods would always fail. Devising a final trial to end the perpetual Primarch's resolve, Curze would beseech the Primarch of the Iron Warriors, Perturabo, to construct a labyrinth to destroy Vulcan's resolve. Teasing at the center of the labyrinth, Vulcan's personal warhammer, Dawnbringer, Curze would not expect the Primarch of the Salamanders to reach his prize.
Wait, he has him running in a maze like a rat to get his hammer back? What?
Yet with tireless, unrelenting drive, Vulcan would reclaim Dawnbringer. The warhammer had been fitted with a secret teleporter within its construction, and after attempting to prevent Vulcan's escape, Curze would be struck by Dawnbringer before Vulcan would activate its teleporter and escape to the Ultramar system. In the wake of the Night Haunter's ever-increasing distractions during the traitor war effort, War Master Horus Lupercal would dispatch the Night Lords at the forefront of their push to Holy Terror, sending a message across the stars that any whom did not kneel would be gifted untold miseries. The Night Lords would enact the war.
This makes me laugh every time. It's a little guy down there.
Master's remorseless will. Harbingers of the traitor's bloodlust and cruelty, the Night Lords would for months be unopposed in their campaign of defilement. Yet within the Framas sector, the Night Lords would be halted by the First Legion,
Dark Angels!
the Dark Angels.
Yeah!
For 3 Terran Standard years, the 1st and 8th Legions would wage a bitter war. Nobility and discipline would face opprobrium and barbarity. Leading his men during the Framas Crusade, Konrad Curze would delay the Dark Angels from interfering with the plots of the War Master. Under the command of their Primarch, Lionel Johnson, the First Legion would prove to be more than a match for the Night Lord's underhanded tactics and
How are you gonna go against my man Lionel Johnson and expect to win? You can't! You little rat, you can't.
cunning. Attempting to sway the Lion to join the War Master's cause, Curze would parley with the Lord of the First. On the planet of Sagwalza, the Primarchs would face each other. The Lion would reject the Night Haunter's offer and attempt to slay Curze. The Lion Sword would clash against Curze's Lightning Claws, Mercy and Forgiveness. 2 of the greatest duelists of the Primarchs would descend into brawling as they disarmed and wounded one another.
Can you really call Curze a duelist though? Like, isn't he more like a, what's the word? Below the belt fighter? Or is he actually a really good duelist? I don't know, Curze is giving me like rogue energy, right? Not like warrior energy. Yeah, maybe is he a really good duelist? He was never beaten in combat as he saw every way he could lose. Oh. Duelist in the term of 1v1, like a pit fighter. Dirty dueling is still dueling. Okay, that's fair, that's fair. I see him as more of like a rogue, like only being able to win from like surprise flanking attacks, not like one-on-one dueling. But I guess that still counts as dueling. Curze was only second to Fulgrim when it came to single combat. He was actually pretty low skilled, but his future sight is... That's true! Going against somebody who can predict your every move. Yeah.
Yet eventually, Curze would gain the upper hand.
Oh, wait, what?
Denied the killing blow against the Lion, the Dark Angel's Seneschal, Corswain, would bury his sword in the back of the Night Haunter.
Ooh.
Both legions would reinforce the Primarch's positions and drag their wounded liege lords from the skirmish. Yet when the legions would clash again, the Dark Angels would prove to be the greater strategists. Ambushing the Night Lord's fleet, the Primarchs would once again duel.
That's great art.
Slaying the Night Lord's elite Atramentar and destroying the 8th Legion's fleet, the Dark Angels would prove to be an indomitable foe. Yet the Night Haunter would not be so easily slain and escape the Lion within his own flagship.
This is when he goes onto his ship after these battles. I see. Well, Lion lost. He's going down 3 tiers now. It wasn't a loss, it was a draw. It was a draw. He never lost, okay, chat? He never lost. They both retreated.
For months, Konrad Curze would skulk the dark corners of the Dark Angel's flagship, Invincible Reason. Cut off from the wider Imperium with the birth of the Ruinstorm, the First Legion would relocate their might to the burgeoning Imperium Secundus of Ultramar. The home system of the Ultramarines Primarch, Rabute Guilliman, Macragge would be the seat of power for the contingent—
Damn, look how big his hand is in this art. That's crazy. Aw, look at Stim defending her man's honor. Oh, it's a power fist. That's why I'm like, ain't no way his hand is that big. I do like Guilliman, I do.
New Imperium, should the Emperor be slain by the War Master. Yet upon the First Legion's arrival to Macragge, Curze would escape from the bowels of the Invincible Reason. Wreaking havoc among the populace of the Ultramarines' homeworld, the combined might of the Primarchs of the 1st, 13th, and newly arrived 9th Legions would hunt the Night Haunter. Primarch Rebute Gilliman of the Ultramarines would elect the Primarch of the Blood Angels, Sanguinius, as the Imperator Regis of their new contingent empire, with Lionel Johnson appointed as Lord Protector of the Imperium Secundus.
Oh, this is the Imperium
It would be
Secundus.
his duty to enforce the campaign to apprehend the Night Haunter. Despite the Dark Angel's attempts to thwart the rampage of Konrad Curze, the Night Haunter would come close to crippling the Loyalist research of the Sofa device, ministered by the Imperial Fist Captain, Alexis Pollux.
He's so yellow.
Confronted by Rebute Gilliman and the Lion within the Fortress of Hera, Curze would detonate explosives concealed within the temple. Before dealing the killing blow, the Loyalist Primarchs would be rescued by the ministrations of the Loyalist Warsmith, Barabbas D'Antioch, and Alexis Pollux, by once more utilizing the Sofa device.
The Sofa device?
Unaware of their survival, Curze would turn his attentions.
Wait, so Curze blew up a building on them? This guy, he can't keep getting away with this. Look at this Chad.
To add one final wound to the Ultramarines Primarch.
He dropped a
Within
temple
the
on
capital
them.
city of Macragge, the Night Haunter would attempt to slay Rebute Gilliman's adopted mother,
No!
Tarasha
His
Newton.
mother!
Hindered by the Space Wolves, appointed to monitor the
Okay.
Ultramarines Primarch,
Jeez.
Curze would nonetheless seemingly be unopposed in slaying the mother of the Lord of Ultramar. Yet against the odds, the reborn Primarch of the Salamanders, Vulcan, would face Curze. In spite of the intervention of the perpetual John Grammaticus and Curze's banishment into the Warp, the Night Haunter would not be denied so easily. Infiltrating the throne room of Macragge, the Night Haunter would confront...
He's still in Macragge! This whole time he's sneaking around Macragge, blowing up temples, trying to kill Rebute's mom. I don't know why this is kind of funny. He's just sneaking around. Yeah, he's like a goddamn cockroach. All of this was in one book. This sounds like a good book. He's literally trolling them.
his vision-attuned brother, Sanguinius. Seeking answers for why the great angel still remained loyal, despite the visions that he had endured, Curze would never understand the loyalty he had shown the Emperor. Offering Sanguinius the chance to end his misery, the great angel would abstain from slaying his brother, and Curze would escape once more into the dark corners of Macragge. With the return of Lionel Johnson and Rebute Gilliman, Curze would finally be brought to justice. Captured and brought before trial to judge him for his crimes, the proceedings would be conducted by the Emperor of Imperium Secundus, Sanguinius. Admitting to his actions, Curze would not accept any guilt for his misdeeds. Turning the Lion and Gilliman against one another due to the methods the Lord of the First had used to root out the Night Haunter, the Lords of Imperium Secundus would fracture.
Oh no, wait, what did my man do? I know he's a little trigger happy, but what did he do? Orbital bombardment and chemical weapons. Oh, this is when he wanted to nuke Macragge. Okay, I remember this from Gilliman's story when they had words. You can describe it as tee.
Dissolving their new Imperium,
I see.
Gilliman and Sanguinius would in private decide to execute the Night Haunter, yet with the intervention of Lionel Johnson, stay their hand. Repeating Curze's claim to observe his own death at the hands of an agent of the Emperor, the Lion would surmise that the Emperor still ruled Holy Terror. Hope burgeoned in the hearts of the Primarchs, and with Sanguinius' own visions of his death at the hands of the War Master, the Loyalists with Curze in their custody would venture to breach the Ruinstorm. Chaining the Night Haunter within the bowels of the Invincible Reason, the Lion would endure the taunts of his degenerate brother. Upon the world of Darwin, the Primarchs would drag Curze to the temple, wherein the War Master had been first corrupted. With the eruption of demons from a portal within the temple, Curze would once more be shackled within the Dark Angel's flagship as the Loyalists countered the demonic incursion. Finding a means to breach the storm, the Dark Angels and Ultramarines would buy time for Sanguinius and his Blood Angels to venture to Holy Terror.
Can we say that the Lion is Canadian if he likes to do war crimes? I knew there was a reason I gravitated towards the Lion.
Taking custody of the Night Haunter, Sanguinius would bring to him the Emperor's judgment. Yet once aboard the Red Tier, Curze would be confined within a stasis coffin and jettisoned into space by the Great Angel.
What? He's just kicked into space?
Sanguinius would tell the Night Haunter that, alike to himself, he must follow his own envisioned path. Adrift for many years, Curze would survive into the following millennia. The Horus Heresy would end, with the Emperor slaying the War Master and the traitors scattering across the stars. Discovering the salvage ship, Sheldron, the stasis pod would unknowingly release the Night Haunter among their crew.
Stim wants a man that would exterminate as a planet for her? Yeah. Yeah, I do. He's from a forested planet full of monsters, so he must be from northern Canada.
Assuming control of the vessel, Curze would journey for 4 years once more to Sagwalza and reunite with his disparate gene sons. Reuniting his legion, Curze would enshrine the Night Lord's base of operations upon the Carrion world. Accepting his prophesied fate, the Night Haunter would guide his legion on a path of self-sufficiency without his presence and await his killer. The Calidus assassin, M. Shen, would discover the Dark King upon his Carrion throne. Unguarded and with no obstacles preventing the assassin's path, the Godslayer would act. Slicing the Night Haunter's head from his body, the torment of Konrad Curze had finally ended.
He let
Yet
her
whispers
kill him?
across the galaxy persist that the spectre of death shall one day return against all odds and records of his demise. For the shadow of the Night Haunter still stalks the galaxy, with the Night Lord's continued defilement of the Imperium in his name.
So he foresaw her killing him, and he was like, yep, I guess so, and just let her? That does nothing to vindication. He let himself be killed because he thought that if this is the end, all of his actions are justified. Oh, wow. Interesting. Oh, yeah, because the whole time he was saying this is just how it has to be, right? And he never tried to change it. So he didn't even try and change his own death. So it would validate basically everything he'd done. That's actually really cool. That's kind of interesting. Interesting.
By reason, by truth, I have learned how your hearts and minds function. With that law, I brought peace to this culture.
At the cost of freedom, the Night Haunter drew in a slow breath through his knife-slit smile.
Peace reigns as I reign. I wouldn't expect your little minds to understand. You are a little man with little dreams.
You ushered in the
smug.
peace of the graveyard. The noble dared to take a step closer. Peace at the cost of surrendering all choice, all freedom. The city lives in terror, forced to live by the standards you place upon our shoulders.
Yes,
The Night Haunter replied.
yes,
But every sin
is punished.
The Night Haunter listened to their hearts beating blood through their bodies. But punishment by death, no matter the crime, no matter the scale of the sin, the people of the city live in silence, lest a single word earn them death for speaking out against you.
Yes,
The Night Haunter closed his dark eyes, as if listening to that very silence drifting across the city.
listen. Listen to the sound of raw silence. Is it not serene?
Oh my god, he's so creepy. Prince of Crows Black Library.
This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer.
He's so creepy!
The Dark King
He's
of
not
Nostromo
wrong.
would live his
But
life
he's creepy.
convinced that his destiny had been sealed. Yet the Emperor teaches us that there are many futures that we must choose, for we are not the pawns of fate. For in my next transmission, we shall elucidate a Primarch whose future had been stolen from his grasp.
What does elucidate mean?
The tortured gladiatorial slave of Nuceria, Angron.
Oh, Angron. Clear up, lighten up. Okay. Thank you guys. I've never heard that word before. So I'm guessing restraining order still. Yeah, he stays in restraining order, but I do think he's an interesting character. Real Curze fans acknowledge that he's a crime against nature, but we love him nonetheless. This is Bricky's favorite? Is that what you guys were saying? Curze is Bricky's favorite? What? That surprises me. Really? Yes, and yours too, Caston. That really surprises me. Absolutely restraining order. Should not date. Red flag. He likes the edge. I mean, I do like how edgy he is too. He's a bit too edgy for me. I'm kind of surprised. I like my edgelords, but he's a bit too edgy for me. Basically likes him because he's fascinating. You cannot fix him, but damned if he isn't fun to watch do his thing. That's very interesting. So there's such a thing as too many red flags for Stim. Okay, I'm gonna get hate for this, but I think the reason I don't like him is because he's so like sneaky and backstabby. I like you know, I like it. I much prefer them being an asshole to my face than behind my back, you know? You want him to murder people in the light of day. Yeah, I want him to like stand on his business, you know? Then you'll love Angron. Angron was probably my first Primarch that I liked. I don't know why people want Skaven and 40k. We already have Night Lords. That's true. He does it because it frightens you more that way. That is true. I am scared of the dark. All right, who do we watch next? I kind of want to watch Leman Russ because I don't know anything about Space Wolves. Like literally nothing about Space Wolves. I just know that there's like a tank named after him. And they have wolves. Space Vikings. Oh, right! You guys were saying he was an alcoholic. That's why I wouldn't like him. I mean, we go from Curze to, well, you know, Russ is an alcoholic, so... That's one red flag. Okay, let's watch Russ. I am noticing a thing. I do like blondes and I do like balds. I like eggs. Maybe I have a type I didn't realize, okay? Because you know who my favorite from Dragon Age Inquisition was? It was Solus. Evil egg. Might have a type. Leman Russ. Ew, elves? Oh, man, I'm not an elf lover, but I loved Solus's character. Professor Xavier Stim's type? I mean, Professor Xavier can get it. Was that supposed to be, like, yeah. Anyways, okay, Leman Russ the Wolf King by the Remembrancer.
There are those who undervalue the penal battalions, but they should consider this. Should a man who has wronged the Emperor be allowed to wrong him further? For each man executed is a man who can no longer serve, and to fail in service to the Emperor is the greatest of sins.
True!
Loyalty is a trait that defines the heroic Primarchs who refuse the temptations of chaos. Each Primarch weighed the cost.
I found Solus unnerving because I've never seen a bald elf before. He's supposed to be unnerving because he's technically like a god. Anyways. Ow!
Of betraying their Imperium by clashing blades and bolters with their brothers. For some, the Imperium would be secondary, yet compatible of their true allegiances, whilst for others their allegiance to the Emperor would be unshakable. But there is only one Primarch whose loyalty is truly ironclad, with no hesitation to reject the poisoned chalice of chaos. Though seen by many of his brothers as a butcher of men, he would nonetheless be the Emperor's greatest executioner and loyal servant. The Wolf King of Fenris, Leman Russ.
Leman Russ.
The young Primarch would land on the icy death world of Fenris.
Oh yeah, this is the
his
icy
incubation
planet.
pod plummeting into the flank of a vast mountain. Despite the harsh weather, the infant would be found by a she-wolf, a gigantic Fenrisian thunderwolf.
Canada
Despite
as a
its
planet.
ferocious nature, the wolf would nurture the child and raise it within its wolf pack.
He was literally raised by wolves? He's like Princess Mononoke? Wow. Okay.
Bird child to raise alongside its own children, the male wolves, whom would be known as Freki and Geri. During the season of Hellwinter, the child and the wolf pack would scavenge for food within the territory of Thengir, king of the Russ. Escaping with their food, the king would send a raiding party after the wolves, armed with poisonous arrows and blades of sharpened steel. The child would attempt to defend them, being injured trying to protect his adopted mother and killing dozens of men with his bare hands. The she-wolf would die, but the tribesmen of the Russ would realize the creature bearing its fangs to be a small boy and lower their weapons. The child would be led to their king, and with his brothers Freki and Geri at his side, the chieftain would see great potential in the young boy and order him to be given a place within his household.
That's so sad.
The boy would learn to laugh and to sing and understand his human traits. Even at such a young age, he would learn to speak and master the battle techniques of axes and swords.
Wait, he wasn't mad that they killed his mama wolf? He was just like, alright, I guess, sure. I'll be your son. Russ is a good boy. He'd chill like that.
With this, he would be named by the king, Leman of the Russ.
Shit happens.
His exploits would be legendary on Fenris, said to battle entire armies of rival tribes alone, to uproot great oak trees with his bare hands, and to even wrestle the gigantic Fenrisian mammoths of the wilds. With time, the aging king would die, leaving the Russ alone as his successor. Under the rule of their new wolf king, the people of Fenris would thrive, the Russ's deeds even reaching the scouting parties of the Emperor of Mankind. Recognizing these incredible feats to be those of his son, the Emperor traveled to Fenris and disguised himself to venture into the court of the Russ.
Why did he disguise himself? He couldn't just come in and be like, yo, it's me, Imps. I'm here for my son. This court is pretty cool looking. Look at the wolves. Big E's just extra like that. He's a diva. He wanted to make an entrance. Big E things.
Meeting Leman, the Emperor would challenge the youth to free trials. Knowing
wow.
the proud Russ would not...
Wait, what? How come, like, every other story, Big E's like, yes, my son, I am taking you home. With Leman Russ, he's like, actually, let's see if you're good enough. Do these 3 things for me, because I'm bored.
Bend his knee without proof of his acumen. The Wolf King would decide the nature of the challenges.
He does it with Vulcan
First,
too.
The two would indulge in an eating challenge.
An eating challenge?
The Emperor would eat more than any man at the Russ's table, save for the Wolf King. For the second challenge, the two would drink, and by the time the Emperor had drunk his 6th barrel of Fenrisian mead, the two would conclude that there was no more mead to drink. The Wolf King would drain every ounce of alcohol within the feast hall.
Wow.
Failing both challenges, the Emperor would grow angry.
The Emperor is such a brat. I just love him. No, how dare you beat me at my own challenges. Such a brat.
Decrying the Wolf King as a drunkard and a glutton, unable to achieve anything more in life, with exception to stuffing his face and bellowing hollow boasts of glory. The Russ would declare his final challenge, drawing his sword from its scabbard. They would face each other in combat, the Emperor throwing his disguise to one side and revealing the splendor and glory of his power armor.
That's not fair.
The Emperor would not lose, and within an hour of being knocked unconscious by the Allfather's power glove, Leman would admit defeat and swear fealty to the Emperor.
That's not fair. He cheated. He cheated. He won. He lost the other 2 challenges, and then he's like, "Surprise, bitch! I have power armor." Now you have to lose.
With a broken fang jutting from his bloodied smile. Under the tutelage of the Emperor, Leman would learn of the Imperium's star-spanning technologies, understanding the finer points of High Gothic, and earning the Emperor's approval to engage in the Great Crusade. He would meet the only other brother to so far be found during the Scouring.
Oh, this is
Horus
early.
Lupercal. Horus would see his new brother as a savage and treat him with
Damn, I say this every video, but like, pre-Horus Heresy, Horus can get it. I love this art.
jealousy masked as disdain. But the Russ would nonetheless seek to ease tensions between himself and his brother. Leman would then be given command of his legion, the Space Wolves, and gifted his thrice-blessed suit of power armor and the legendary Frostblade, Mjolnir.
Ooh, he has a special
Forged
sword.
with the teeth of the great Kraken of Fenris, the blade was said to be strong enough to cleave its ice mountains.
Today's a weird day, chat. Today's a weird
During
day.
the Great Crusade, Leman Russ would gain a reputation as a cunning and fierce warrior. Whilst fighting the Wheel of Fire campaign, the Space Wolves would lose a third of their legion's numbers to the onslaught of orcs.
A third?
Yet
Holy.
for his efforts, the Russ would be rewarded with the fortress monastery known as the Fang to be built on Fenris. He would also be gifted the Spear of Russ, forged by the Emperor's own hand, which had previously been known as the Dionysian Spear. Though Leman would see little of the Emperor during the Great Crusade, he would be mentored and tempered by Malcador the Sigillite's wisdom.
Oh, he's mentored by Malcador? Russ has several strange and sometimes esoteric weapons. Oh, is he like known for having cool weapons? For real, girl, you good? You need some time alone or something? I'm in a weird mood today, okay? This is all ignore it. We'll just ignore it. Yeah.
Forming between them an unshakable bond. Due to his fiery temper and boisterous personality, the Russ would inevitably clash with his brother Primarchs.
Oh.
During the Dulan campaign, the Space Wolves would fight alongside the Dark Angels. The Dulan planet's leader would verbally insult Leman Russ, stoking his rage, and leading him to vow to kill him personally. As the two legions besieged the throne room, Leman would burst through the doors at the moment where Lionel Johnson, Primarch of the First Legion, would behead the planet's ruler. Denied his retribution, Leman Russ would demand penance from the Lion for his...
Did he steal his kill? Did the Lion steal his kill? Because he knows the Lion was a dick for this. He knew Russ wanted to kill that guy. Oh, stop taking my last hits. He's such a dick.
Lost honor. The Lion would refuse, leading to the Primarchs to brawl for an entire week without pause. On the 7th day, the Russ would realize the immaturity of their actions and laugh uncontrollably. With the Lion seeing this jest as a mockery to his honor, he would use the opportunity to strike the Russ unconscious. And as the Primarch was roused from his dormant state, the First Legion would leave the system, fueling a feud between the legions which would last into the millennia to follow, with both chapters adopting the custom of their chosen champions dueling for the honor of their Primarchs.
That's kind of cute, though. They're just like, that sounds like sibling stuff, you know? They're just always fighting over stuff. Russ gets paralleled to the Lion in that one is a savage pretending to be noble and vice versa. Oh, you mean like the Lion is a savage pretending to be noble? Or wait, is it the other way? Wait, huh? Yeah, but wolves and dark angels actually do really hate each other. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah. So then that would be the Russ is a noble that acts like a savage. The Lion is a savage acting like a knight. Leman is a knight acting like a savage. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. The Lion shows himself as a knight, but is really the boy who grew in the wilds hunting monsters. And that's why I love him. A beast masquerading as a man.
Leman Russ would also be sent to retrieve Angron, Primarch of the World Eaters, to be brought before the Emperor. The Red Angel had sought to implant his legions Astartes with the Butcher's Nails brain implants, to which the Emperor would demand him to relent, sending his most loyal son to bring Angron to justice. On Malkova, the two Primarchs would clash. The Russ would restrain his martial prowess as he was instructed to by the Emperor. However, this restraint would lead to the Russ being bested by the Red Angel, and his legion would undergo the foul surgeries of the Butcher's Nails.
No.
Despite his many rivals, Leman was regarded with respect by some of his brothers, particularly Robute Guilliman, who saw Leman as one of 3 other Primarchs who always served the Emperor's will with utmost conviction. The others being Rogel Dorn, Sanguinius, and Ferrus Manus, regarded by Guilliman as the Dauntless Few.
Wait,
Guilliman
why isn't my man on there? What do you mean? Why didn't Lionel get on there? Huh? The Dauntless Few? Because Guilliman and the Lion didn't like each other? Because the lion isn't a team player? Oh. He's too sus.
Guarded by Guilliman as the Dauntless Few.
Fine, I see it.
Guilliman even proposed that his legion of the Ultramarines could win any war outright if only one of those Primarchs, including the Russ, fought beside him. Though as the Great Crusade came to a close, Leman Russ would earn a nickname within the inner circle of his brother Primarchs, the Emperor's Executioner.
That's such a cool nickname.
During the Horus Heresy,
that goes hard.
Magnus the Red would defy the Emperor's decree of the Treaty of Nicaea. Attempting to warn the Emperor of the betrayal of Horus Lupercal, Magnus would irrevocably damage the Emperor's Webway project, flooding the Webway with demons and dooming humanity to continue traversing the ever-deadlier warp and incur its wrath for millennia. Sent by the Emperor, Russ would be tasked with bringing Magnus to Terra to face judgment, but be manipulated by orders from Horus Lupercal. His orders now stating to eliminate the sons of Magnus. Prospero would burn, and the
Is this the Thousand Suns planet, Prospero, with the pyramid things? It looks really cool. I always like the art of this planet when I see it. The boy failed harder than anyone in fiction. just a little whoopsie doopsie.
Thousand Suns would be decimated, but Magnus would nonetheless escape into the warp. Leaving Prospero, the Space Wolves would be forced into a rout by the Alpha Legion, taking shelter in the Alaxis Nebula.
Prospero was one of the most paradise worlds the Imperium had. It was one of the best places in the Imperium to live.
Surrounded and abandoned by the White Scars Legion when called for aid, Russ would confide with Bjorn the Fell-Handed, stating that blindly serving the Emperor as his executioner was a grave mistake. Vowing to forge his own path, Leman Russ would lead his forces in a desperate last stand against the 20th Legion. The Space Wolves would be saved, begrudgingly by the Dark Angels, and return to Holy Terra.
I guess.
During his time on Terra, Russ would aid Malcador and the Knights Errant in planning the assassination of Horus Lupercal. Dawn and Sanguinius would implore Russ and his legion to stay on Terra to defend against the oncoming traitor forces, but Leman would resolve to kill Horus himself. With the aid of the Knights Errant, Russ would track the location of the Vengeful Spirit and prepare to duel Horus Lupercal. With the aid of his rune priests, the Russ would look for a weakness in the War Master by traveling to the Underverse, known by the Imperium as the Warp, and venture to Surtur's Door.
Oh, dang.
The Russ would confront the Earl King, a warp entity.
Holy, this is a whole side quest. What? Okay. He went into the warp to get to Horus faster or something?
That collected the souls of Fenrisians who die outside of battle. Before he could be consumed by the Earl King's Vulfin.
Okay, I thought it looked like Odin too. This is just working in some Norse lore into Space Wolves. I see.
Leman Russ offered to complete one of 4 tasks in exchange for his soul.
Wow, it's a whole side quest.
Accepting his terms, the Earl King challenged Leman to drink the damned soul of Amarok's bowl until it was dry. Second, he would wrestle an ancient crone, and finally, move the Earl King's great slumbering wolf. Leman Russ had failed all challenges, but for his 4th, he would need to explain what the challenges he had attempted to accomplish really were.
Ooh.
Russ assessed that the bowl represented the changing seasons of Fenris, the old crone was a manifestation of age, and that the wolf was death.
So smart.
The chamber crumbled, and a mirror of Russ dressed in finery would reveal the secret of the Dionysian spear. It held a portion of the Emperor's power, and could illuminate the truth to those who were pierced by its tip.
Russ saying that blindly being the Emperor's executioner was a mistake is what winds up setting the Space Wolves to become one of the more heroic legions, alongside the Ultramarines and Salamanders in modern 40k, which ultimately leads them to having a short war with the Grey Knights and Inquisition, known as the Month of Shame. Oh. Okay.
The false Russ would impale Leman with the spear, revealing the true nature of the Primarchs. Despairing for a time, Russ would nonetheless emerge from Surtur's Door, with the knowledge that he had the capacity to end the war should he win his duel with Horus. With the aid of his Wolf Lords, Leman Russ would ambush the Vengeful Spirit and confront Horus. Offered to join the traitors, Russ flatly refused Horus's offer and fought the War Master. Allowing a chance for Horus to wound him with his lightning claw, Russ would use this feint to impale Horus with the spear of Russ. However, due to a moment's hesitation, his strike would land, but not be fatal. Badly wounded, Russ would be dragged from the battle by Bjorn the Fell-Handed and Grimnar Blackblood as hundreds of space wolves swarmed the War Master.
Oh, he hesitated. I don't remember learning about this. He hesitated when he fought Horus? The space wolves were absolute shitheads before. Like war crimes of war crimers, always acting high and mighty. 40k space wolves are okay, but you don't like 30k. He nearly beat him here, but he hesitates to kill him because that's my boy Horus. Makes sense.
Russ would fall into a comatose state as Abaddon the Despoiler pursued the depleted space wolves to the Yarant system.
God, Abaddon's just so creepy. So creepy. I can't with him.
With the aid of Raven Guard Primarch Corvus Corax, the space wolves would manage to escape the Yarant system, with Leman Russ passing on the Dionysian spear to Bjorn. The Russ would not be present for the Siege of Terra, and would not return until well after the entombing of the Emperor on the Golden Throne. Returning to Fenris one last time, Leman Russ would host a great feast, then address his sons before embarking into the Eye of Terror.
Listen but closely, brothers, for my life breath is all but spent. There shall come a time far from now when our chapter itself is dying, and as I am now dying, and our foes shall gather to destroy us. Then, my children, I shall listen for your call in whatever realm of death holds me. And come I shall, no matter what the laws of life and death forbid. At the end I will be there, for the final battle.
It's wolfin' time!
For the wolf time.
This tale would be retold every 1,000 years by Bjorn the Fell-Handed, the now great wolf of Fenris. The space wolves would on occasion scout the galaxy in a great hunt in search for their Primarch, but to this day, to no avail.
Oh yeah, it's wolfin' time.
This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer. Sons of the Praetorian, raise your fists, for in my next Vox transmission, we recall the deeds of Primarch Rogel Dorn.
Ooh, Rogel Dorn! Russ is likely to be the next returning Primarch, right? Right? Who do you think is the next Primarch? We need more loyalist Primarchs to return, so I wouldn't be surprised. Him or Khan, yeah. We need more loyalists back. When we watched Arbiter Ian's list, it was like there was like 4 active Chaos Primarchs and 2 loyalist Primarchs, traitors. We need to have Rabute and Lion meet each other again. Oh, have they not met yet? Since coming back? Oh, I want to see that so bad. I want to see that so bad. They're both so different when they come back. I want to see that so bad. No, but the lore is leading to that. I think the Lion is just going around world solo killing demons. He isn't even leading the Dark Angels. Where did you read? Okay, how do I find out about the Lion coming back? Like, where was that? Is that a book? I want to read about the Lion coming back. Lion, son of the forest. Okay, I'm gonna read that. Bro, why do you look so old? The fuck? Bro, no, you look old. Wait, no, you look old. Bro.